Food deserts affect our city more than many people realize. In these deprived districts, there is little to no access to grocery stores, offering the fresh and affordable foods needed to maintain a healthy diet. 12.6% of DC households are food insecure, meaning that they do not know where their next meal is coming from. 0.4% of DC households are considered severe cases of food insecurity. Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, and Safeway are commonly part of life in many parts of the city. In addition to the people who are unable to afford the groceries sold at the markets, some people don't even live close enough to consider that as an option. People affected by these food deserts include senior citizens, single parents, low-income families, people without access to a car, and socially segregated groups. There are so many different causes of food deserts. Large-scale grocery stores are moving out into the suburbs as a result of shifts in population density. Meanwhile, senior citizens and low-income residents have to stay in the city for low-cost housing. In rural and suburban areas, farmer markets are not able to operate at their normal capacity, serving health-conscious people, because supermarkets are taking away their business. Some zoning laws prevent food stores from opening up in certain neighborhoods, further exacerbating this problem. Living in a food desert can be extremely detrimental to a person's health. Malnutrition, caused by lack of access to minerals, vitamins, and fresh foods, can lead to mental, physical, and emotional impairments. Obesity is another sad result of food deserts. There are a number of organizations and government programs working to tackle this growing problem. They include the SNAP program, DC Central Kitchen, and the federally mandated school lunch program. According to the USDA Choose My Plate program, an average 18-year-old should be eating about a bowl of cereal with fresh fruit, 2 to 3 cups of leafy salad, greens with vegetables, 1 cup of fruit juice, 3 cups of dairy, which could include 1 cup of yogurt, a glass of milk, and a small portion of cheese. Also about 5.5 ounces of meat, which could include meat, poultry, seafood, beans, peas, seeds, and nuts. It also calls for almost 2 hours of physical activity each week. We traveled to the 7th Ward of Washington, D.C. to see if we could find these foods. We walked into a convenience store and were able to find fresh sandwiches with a selection of meat, fresh salads, packaged in bags, and a selection of some fruit. They also sold dry cereals, milk, canned goods, and some bakery items. Despite not being able to find all of the foods recommended by the USDA in this particular store, we were able to eat a considerable meal for just under $12. This is a perfect example of the food desert problem. We were not able to find enough food for a balanced meal, yet we spent more money than the local residents could afford. The SNAP program only provides $4.25 a day. Something needs to be done. In keeping with our belief that any plan to destroy a food desert must be multifaceted, we have developed a 4-pronged action plan for this problem. First, we need to approach this problem on a government level by addressing zoning laws and advocating for business subsidies. On a community level, by providing grants to local stores. On a family level, by creating local cooking classes. And on an individual level, by encouraging behavioral differences in how people eat. Our first step would be to send a letter to the DC Zoning Committee to determine the extent to which zoning regulations contribute to this problem. We also propose providing grants and subsidies to the entrepreneurs at DC Mayor Vincent Gray's Union Kitchen, which is a program established to provide DC residents the skills and means to open their own restaurant. The next step would be to create local cooking classes. Preliminary steps to this plan, if implemented, would be to create a curriculum with specific ingredients that could be found locally in order to foster a community approach to healthy cooking and eating. The third step is to create personal changes by providing individuals with information about how exactly to implement those healthy choices. This step is probably the hardest, as it involves a myriad of different factors, many of which vary from person to person. We propose providing basic information for individuals living in Ward 5, 7, and 8. From the Choose My Plate guidelines, we believe the food that is listed in what we found at the convenience store would add up to around $12 a day. However, it does not provide the adequate amounts of fruits and vegetables and also has too many salts and fats. There is a way to eat healthier food, at least temporarily, at convenience stores. Our goal is to provide this information, a convenience store shopping food guide, to the residents of Ward 5, 7, and 8. In D.C., 12% of residents live in food deserts. We'd like to reduce that by 2% per year so that the problem is eliminated in the next 6 years through our 4-pronged approach and temporary convenience store shopping food guide.